flew over to CBS, spoke to Clive Davis, had the easiest meeting I've ever had in my life because it was number one. And he said, yeah, here's the budget, go and produce the albums. And we recorded the album of Colin's 1 year, produced that, which I think is the most beautiful album from Colin. And Chris and I had the ideas about the album, but it was Chris who put us in touch with, through one of his music business relatives, with Chris Gunning, the string arranger. And I had this idea of making a really avant-garde album. The very first track we did was Misty Roses, song which Colin had found and chosen. Very, very beautiful. And we did it as a little jazzy thing. And I said, at the end, we should open up into something that goes into sort of Bartok territory. And that was my idea for the whole album, really. And Colin, first of all, thought it was crazy. And when he first heard Chris's arrangement at the end, he said, I can't sing over that. But he got to, adore it. He got to really, really love it. And he did sing over it. And many years later, many years later, I remember when we were just making a name with our present incarnation of the Zombies, the guy who was the lead singer with the Black Crows came down to an early afternoon sound check for us, and he wasn't on till late in the evening. And we thought, what's he doing here? And he said, and he came up to us and said, man, he said, Misty Roses is my favorite track of all time. And you think, you can't make assumptions about what people like, because musicians often have their finger in many areas and love many areas. You can have a real heavy metal band and they absolutely, Metallica are great fans of the Zombies. It's such a different area that they deal with, but that's the great thing about musicians. They don't have the prejudices that many other people do.
Your music transcends as well. And 1 year, which you just mentioned, which was Colin's first solo album, is a wonderful album, and it was just reissued, and it's tremendous. And I'm curious, was there at that time ever consideration, because it was you, Chris, and Colin, to do it as the Zombies, just to even capitalize on what was happening with Time of Season a couple of years before?
No, because we never looked back. I've never done that all my life, really. And the only reason we got together with Colin again was to have a ball, doing new material, really, and giving us an outlet to continue writing and playing, and trying to do something that was of the current day. I don't mean in current fashion, but something that was turning us on for real, because otherwise what's the point in doing it? We never did it just to make a buck. We honestly didn't. We always wanted to, because you've only got one life, and I always think at the end you want to look back and say, well, really gave it, may not have got